What you're looking at is an exclusively one-of-one AMG GT 4-door coupe. I know you're wondering why this car has a long name. Don't confuse this with the AMG GT because that one is exclusively made by the AMG plant. But this is based on the CLS or E-Class. And you're asking, how much will this car set you back? You know, being exclusive, this car will set you back 19 million Kenya shillings. Kama bado unatetemeka, relax, because we're just starting this review on Conversations Kanisa. And at this point, I'll ask you, please subscribe, give me a like, give me a share, because I need this video to get to as many people as possible. Let's get into this.
Start it up.
Let's get into the most interesting bit of owning the AMG GT 4-door coupe, and that is the styling, looks, and the technology. Now, to bring out the GT-ness out of it, Mercedes-Benz decided to go with a bit of aggressive lines, especially on the hood, because this is where you have a huge hump to just bring out the GT-ness. But away from that, this car is curvaceous, it is flat, there are no those sliding lines to the side profile. Mercedes was quite conservative with this car because it's supposed to be a grand tourer. But let's talk about the tech. So what do you have at the front? And remember, I told you this car mimics the styling of the CLS. So if you look at it, it looks like a big CLS, right? But let's get down to the technology. So you have multi-beam LED headlights, which are adaptive, and then you have your daylight running strip just positioned quite conveniently inside the headlamp, which is beautiful and awesome. The black edition blacked out accents that are going on at the front grille is just beautiful. This is the signature AMG grille by the AMG Zote. This is how the grille looks like, and you have your 360-degree camera that complements the entire cameras around this car, and we look at them, they are very crisp and clear. And you have your AMG emblem, which backs up your adaptive Distronic Plus cruise control technology. Beautiful and awesome, right? That's not where we stop. Now, down here we have what we call active vents. Now, these active vents serve two purposes: to conveniently cool or keep the engine under optimum temperature, or number two, to streamline your aerodynamics. So if you want better aerodynamics, better fuel economy, then these active vents will close up so that you guys see it's going to drag, so it should be less drag going into the engine. But when you want to cool and make sure the engine is operating at optimum temperatures, they will open up and give you access to better cooling. Perfect. Let's roll to the side profile, because I told you this is a night edition, so you'll see a lot of black badgings going on starting from the front wheel. So what you have here is size 19. I reckon best with the type of car you're buying, because this is the AMG GT 4-door coupe 53. So you'll have size 19. But if you go up the ladder, if you got the 63, you're capable of getting 20, 21, even in some cases 22. So it's down to the choice of the person you're buying the car from, because mostly as Kenyans, we buy cars from people who have already laid down the trim for us, or the choices of the options, and you'll see that along the entire review, even the interior. 6-spot at the front, perforated discs, perfect and good for cooling, and that is the same setup you get at the rear. While I'm here, it's better I talk about suspension, because you have double wishbone suspension at the front and a multi-link set suspension at the rear, and that suspension is adaptive, meaning you can tune it to feel more comfortable, or you can tune it to be stiff for performance and handling. Hapo tuko sawa? Let's continue the side profile. So you have a blacked out badging there that is fake. It's not an active vent. Then you have blacked out side mirrors with LED side blinkers, which is dope and awesome. Even the handle that opens the door has a black strip to it, even though it has a chrome padding on the top. Now, the build of this car is brought to life by the side profile. Now, look at how beautiful and awesome the AMG GT 4-door coupe, or the 4-door thing, is because it has an extra door. So the other GT that I told you about only has 3 doors. So you have 1, 2, and the rear one ya kuweka mzigo. The ground clearance is dope. The side profile, I told you this GT, Mercedes-Benz are going for easy curvy lines, so you won't see those strict hash lines cutting across the entire of the car. Come to the rear profile, because this is where things now become more interesting. if there's a place where people will always stop you to take pictures of this car, is when it comes to the rear profile, because this again is where this car did magic. Simple. Angalia at the ambosianda, you know, the let me not use those names, but if this car was a human being or a lady, of course she'll come from the leg side, because there's nothing that looks better than the rear of this car. Now, there's something that brings out the performance element of this car. I told this car wears a badge 53, and of course you have a retractable rear spoiler. Now this one functions two ways. One, you can do it manually yourself. Pale ndani, you can click on a button and you can lift this one up in case you're passing by people and you want people to see that you have a serious car that has a rear spoiler. Or number two, you can allow it to do it itself automatically. When you want to brake and get a better braking force, it lifts up the spoiler. So hapa ndo penye hewa inapiga, and then this car will have better stopping point. But also, if you want it to handle better, the air will come underneath, and then it will have what you call a downforce to this car. So this car will be planted on the ground. Remember, this is a rear wheel drive, meaning all that power that we're going to discuss Palembele, it's being pushed on the rear wheels. Let's talk about the other design elements. Of course, you have your LED rear taillights, which are very thin and very bright. And I told you, as always, Mercedes-Benz will do a too bright setup on the rear taillights for different applications during the day and during the night. Okay, hapa chini you have a blacked out diffuser with an electronic tailgate. But before I show you the practicality we have under this car with that lift back design, is you have 4 exhaust tips, pale mbili na huku mbili, and they blacked out again to just continue the night edition package. Hapo tuko sawa, even though the real ones are inside. There are 2, one there and one here, and they sound okay and awesome for a 53. But I reckon if you want the one that sounds better, get yourself the E63S. It will sound much better. Now let's talk about practicality. So what you get here is 461 liters of practical boot space, and that is huge, courtesy of the lift back design. Okay, so you can store very long and bigger packages here, like suitcases. And in fact it gets better, because electronically, using an electronic button to release the latches, you can actually release the other seats with the buttons here, and once you do that, it reveals you now to 1,324 liters of boot space. I have to be specific, because watu wa Mercedes wapendi mchezo. You say ukiongeza inchi moja tu hapa ama lita moja, you are toast. Okay, and that is the beauty of buying yourself this car. This car is being referred to as a grand tourer. It means it's a car you take on awesome journeys with your family, with your kids, with your wife, and get the performance out of it, the comfort out of it, and still look stunningly good. Let's check out what is under the hood of this car and define exactly what does the 53 badge mean and what does it translate down to power and performance. Now, from 2018, there's something Mercedes-Benz has been doing on their engine lineups, and that is deleting the V6 variant on the 53 badge and bringing in the straight 6, which is what we find under the hood of these AMG GT 4-door coupe 53. Power output 429, but you can triangulate it to 430, and 520 Newton meters of torque. Twin scroll, single turbo, meaning a set of 3 cylinders will turn one scroll, and a set of the other 3 cylinders will turn the other scroll. And that means turbo lag kwanza imeshakuwa reduced. From there you're working from a very good point. But it doesn't stop there. Mercedes-Benz has gone further and introduced what we call EQ Boost, which is a set of mild hybrid technologies that provide an extra power to this engine, which is around 21 HP, around 249, 250 Newton meters of torque. So the number I gave you earlier is a combined number in terms of what the EQ Boost gives and what the engine gives as well. And the other thing that EQ Boost does is it provides you the opportunity to run your peripherals inside the car, like AC, you know, those electrical components that you need to be running, so that you save your energy and have your car run efficiently. So those guys who complain, oh, ukiweka AC on inakunywa sijui mafuta, oh no, Mercedes-Benz are overdone with that. They gave you a system that provides a stable running flow of both electricity and power together combined. Okay, now I told you earlier, if you buy the 3-door GT, the proper one, the one we talked about being a supercar, there's a lot that changes when it comes to the front here. Okay, so what you get on the GT are actually 2 engines. If you get, I believe if you get the GT, the GTS, except the GT3. The GT3 is the one that comes with a 6,200 V12 engine with a code name the M159. But now the GT has a V8, which has a different code name from what we'll get here. So the other GT has a V8 with a code name the M178. Now when it comes to this particular car, you also have a V8. So if you're buying this car from China, it will come with a badge wearing a 50 badge, 50. If you buy it from different markets, you can get with a badge of 43, 50, and this particular one, which is 53. And these badges, technically what it means is different power outputs, but it's literally the same engine. This particular one, okay? This particular one, the M256, same engine, no difference. Now, what other engine are you going to get? So you get another engine which is a V8. So if you buy the high spec of this car, you get with a V8. But now that V8 is the same V8 on the G63, which is the M177. So hapo inafaa muone tofauti. Okay, know the proper GT, different engine code, because that one was designed fully by AMG for that particular car. So this particular car, again, on the highest performing level, it was designed by AMG for this particular car. So there are two different engines and they serve different purposes. Hapo tuko sawa. So you get the M177 on the 63, the 63S, and the 63E Performance, which comes with a hybrid setup with an electric motor at the rear. Now you in a push power mingi sana. In fact, it gives around 830 something HP. And if you add the E Performance to it, then you can push as high as 1,400 Newton meters of torque, which is just absolute bananas. I believe that is their most powerful Grand Tourer on the road right now in the whole world. Because 1,400 from the factory on a car that you can spend 20 to 30 million, believe me, that is beautiful and awesome. Now, let's talk about transmission. So what do you get paired to this awesome, beautiful engine? You get a 9-speed TCT, speed shift AMG transmission. There's a lot of words I'll throw here so you guys get to understand. So when you buy a Mercedes-Benz and it has different transmissions, you'll have these words being thrown to you. All of them will come with a speed shift at the end. So you have one called TCT, which is this one, which is basically a torque converter transmission. TCT, torque converter, right? And then you have another one, which is what you'll find on the GLEs, 63, and those. Even if you buy the 63 version of this one, you'll also get it with a 9-speed MCT, multi-clutch transmission, meaning there's a set of clutches, wet clutches, pale katikati, that act as your torque converter. So they delete the torque converter and give you a clutch pack, which is not dual. It's just a set of clutch packs, right? Which will work to help you shift this car or this transmission to better power and performance. Now, if you buy the real AMG GT, ile niliwaambia ile yuko na 3-door, you get a 7-speed dual clutch speed shift from Mercedes-Benz. Now that one has a proper dual clutch, and it's important that they gave that one a proper dual clutch, because the cars it's going against, the gari zinakuja na dual clutch, and shifting and performance is one element of that particular car. So that is where you start drawing the differences. So don't you ever take this car and put it in the same category, the same group with the proper AMG GT. This is like a civilized, consumer-friendly Grand Tourer. The other one is a performance beast. Tumemaliza? Let's check out the interior of this car and see, does Mercedes-Benz all the time. This is a Grand Tourer, and the reason why they came up with a 4-door design on this car is because they needed to serve people who will be driving and sharing the experience of the driver and the passenger every time they're tackling road trips and enjoying the pure niceness of a 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. So space, legroom, eco fit even for a tall person. I believe this will be awesome. The headroom is awesome. They've extended the roof high to accommodate a taller person. But take charge, anytime you open this door, you remember to tuck your head down, because now you have this hump coming down. So this will knock you down. Did I tell you this car comes with frameless doors, both at the front and the rear? That is quite awesome. Of course, each car in this category is trying to do the frameless doors. So I'll expect Mercedes-Benz to do the same. Now when it comes to comfort and the seat itself, contoured seats with Alcantara paddings in the middle, and they feel like bucketish, which is nice. Any gari imesetiwa tu for road trip. You're here, you're driving for a long distance, the only thing you want to listen to is Burmester sound system and the growling of the 6 cylinders Palembele with a twin scroll turbo, which is just awesome. Of course, the growl of the rear exhaust tips as well will add on to that advantage. Now, convenient features. You have 2 vents here to cover this passenger and this passenger as well. And then at the middle here, you have a drop-down armrest with 2 cup holders, which can be individually deployed to serve each person. And then you can store your phone or your extras hapa hivi, because whoever is driving this car doesn't have a lot. In terms of door cabin spaces, you can fit in 500 ml or 1 liter of a bottle, which is dope. But you have wood finish with heated seats at the rear, heated seats for the passenger as well. Just dope and easy car. This car is not meant to have a lot for people who are sitting here. Of course, what wako nyuma entertainment important, right? So you have your padding here where you can throw in your tablet, your iPad. I recommend people who drive this car or who want to drive in this car, please come with the iPads, Don't come with Samsung tablets. Let's check out the front of this car and see. Did Mercedes-Benz again at the front. I told you earlier that there are a few similarities that this car shares with the CLS and the E-Class, and especially in the interior, it's more pronounced with these 2 screens. I believe 12.1, 12.1, crystal clear, very beautiful. These are things we are used to seeing on the 213s and the 214s. Also, actually the 214s, I think they have an extra screen here, which is dope. These are 2020 unit. I believe from 2021, 2022, you'll have a different setup. But what makes this car unique, number one, is this center console that we have here, because this mimics a V8 if you look at it. So you have like 4 cylinders on this end, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 cylinders on this end, 1, 2, 3, 4, with a touchpad and a trackpad hopper, which makes this car just feel premium and unique. One thing that I love, before I tell you what these buttons do, is they moved the gear lever from shift by wire on the column to something that is mounted on the center console, which is very nice. It's like a tiny AMG shift by wire shifter, which is nice. Let's talk about what you get here. So you get, these are how you turn off and turn on your infotainment system, and then you can also increase your volume using that or reduce the volume. Then you have your auto start and stop technology, meaning this car is fuel efficient, and we'll talk about that when you're driving this car. And then this is the button you can retract or bring out your rear spoiler. Then you have your exhaust opening valves and closing here. Then you have your traction control when you want to launch this car from 0 to 100, baby. And then you have your suspension. You can tune it from comfort, sport plus, all that, because that is when you're tackling performance. Then you have your transmission. You can put it in manual mode so that you can shift with the paddle shifters, and then you can change your driving mode using this one here as well. Well, it doesn't stop there, because Mercedes-Benz are awesome people, and this car comfortably wears an AMG badge. They've given you an AMG steering wheel, okay? And when I say an AMG steering wheel, it means it comes with 2 very important things. It comes with these 2 toggles. Toggle number 1 is to change your driving modes, and this is very important. Imagine you're on the road, unanyama watu, and you want to change from individual to sport plus. You just toggle these and dial up, and you're sport plus, and you keep on hammering people. But again, when you're hammering people, you're like, no, I don't like the suspension. So you have your suspension set up here. You can shift your modes. Now these are your gearbox mode. You can shift from manual to automatic. So in case you want to use your paddle shifters, it means you're driving at a high speed and full concentration. You don't need to move your hand to look for a button to switch here. So you just toggle down to manual and you're here. Bam, 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 bam. And when you're tired of manual shifting, you toggle it goes back to drive, which now the car will switch it automatically. Then you have your spoiler deployment here, which can also toggle off traction control. It can also bring in your suspension. Everything that is here can actually be changed here. Everything can be done here, even your suspension. So this works quite magic. So that is the essence of having an AMG multifunctional steering wheel. This one here is to control that screen. This one here is to control this screen. Now, to top it up, Mercedes-Benz decided, they're giving you a grand tour, meaning if you're going for long distances, at the front you need very comfortable seats. So what we have here is AMG bucket-like leather contoured seats with Alcantara paddings. Again, beautiful, premium, and awesome. Signature MG vents with RGB lighting, meaning this car has LED lighting, ambient lighting that just looks awesome, and you can switch between colors depending with how you feel and the mood you're in. Number 2, you have wood finish cutting across the entire dashboard, which is awesome. If I didn't have that, I'll cry. Then you have soft leather across the entire dashboard. Now, to finish it off, as you're doing your road trips, Mercedes-Benz has made it possible to have Burmester sound system all around. The front seats, both for the passenger and the driver, are heated, ventilated, with memories option, which is dope and beautiful, right? Let's drive this car. I think I've talked too much. Or do you want me guys to talk about practical options that you get here in terms of storage? Fine. You get your glove compartment here that you can lock. You get another place you can put your cup holders, and you get a storage compartment that you can put your phones. And here you get a USB charging port, actually two. One will enable Apple CarPlay, Android Auto via wire. That is the only bad thing. But I reckon the newer models have wireless. Then you have USB card port. You load there your music, videos, MP3, whatever, and pick a destination. Mine will be Malindi right now. I feel like I just need to go and bath myself in that sun and that white ocean and just bathe in the nice ocean water and feel nice. As an option, you can get this car with a panoramic sunroof. I told you earlier, it is an option that you choose. Normally, we buy cars that have been spec'd by other people, especially when you're shipping these cars from these other countries, be it UK, be it Japan. So anytime you're buying this car, just know somebody else woke up and spec this car the way it is. But I reckon the owner of this car probably wanted this car without a sunroof. So you also have the benefit of getting one without. There's one interesting thing that I have on the infotainment screen, which I wanted to show you. And I love the way the trackpad feels. It gives you what we call a haptic feedback. Even these buttons, these two are physical, but the rest 6 are actually displays that you click and they give you feedback. Okay, but let me talk about something I love about this car. So it has an option here that is called track pace. This time round, when you're going to do 0 to 100, we are not going to film using our draggy because these things have been put here. You can go to the track and race with your friend and record the lap times around the track, or you can go down here and do a drag race and do your acceleration test from 0 to 100, from quarter mile. You can test your braking. You can do all that. And because people have already done this, why can't I just go and show you the history? So there's a guy here who did, what is this? This is a drag race. This is braking stop. These are braking. So he came from 0 to what? 50 to 0 in 48 meters. No, we'll do ours. Let's just stop. Let's just go on the road and do ours, right? Yeah, let's go do it. So how does it feel to drive the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT4? There are a few things I need to put out which are very, very, very important. One of them being the type of transmission that you are running on your car. Now, this car, I told you, it has a 9-speed TCT. Okay, if you go out to the 63, I believe you'll have the multi-clutch T transmission, which is dope. Now, the advantage of having this is it allows you to move slowly. Like right now, I am in traffic. It doesn't feel jerky. It doesn't feel like, you know, it's a performance transmission that requires you to be putting down your feet all the time. It's a transmission that serves you in both occasions. If you turn this dial down to Sport Plus, the transmission becomes a bit aggressive, but it is an advantage for daily driving. Okay, that is why 53, 43 badges going down, you know, they get those not so extreme transmissions in terms of performance and sportiness, because they believe the person who's buying that car is looking for dual performance or dual usability on their cars, where you are calm for normal everyday drive and you can enjoy that, and number two, when you need a bit of performance, you can again snap the car into Sport Plus and you can start yammering people on the road. So especially right now, I'm running on comfort. It's quite nice. One thing that we always give to Mercedes-Benz is how they dial down their setups. This car is quite refined. Of course, the suspension feels quite awesome and comfortable for this type of a car, which is very uncommon, by the way. And it just feels like right now I'm doing eco. I don't know, is it eco? I'm comfort. There's no eco mode. I'm doing comfort. Yeah, we're just doing some nice fuel economy numbers, and the car is just relaxed without anything going on. The seats are quite comfortable. The noise insulation is quite nice. Just listen to that. Okay, and you put your windows up, quite good. Visibility, of course, quite good at the front. When it comes to the rear, because of the design of this car, and the rear also feels a bit claustrophobic because of the smaller windows, you might struggle with visibility kidogo, but for me it's an okay. I have absolutely no problem with visibility, unless you're a guy who's buying this kind expecting visibility GLE, then you'll have a problem. But if you're buying this car, of course, these are the things that are running in the back of your mind. This is the design of what this car offers. But now we need to go down and get down to business. The business of what this car is designed to do. If you're not doing your kawaida cruising, if you're not doing this normal day-to-day cruising, what does this car mean? Or what does this car define? And remember, whoever is buying this car, this car feels light when you're driving. One thing I did tell you, this car weighs around 2 tons. So right now it's feeling quite light because of the power that this car handles and puts down to the wheels, the rear wheels to be specific. If you are taking this car on long trips, there are 2 things that you need. One of them is a car that handles well, and the second thing is a car that performs well. And that is the only thing I'm here to confirm. Of course, I've already dialed down the infotainment screen on the vehicle settings to a place where niliwaambia tunaweza fanya drag races, tunaweza fanya acceleration quarter mile. That's why it's planted right now. And I'm just waiting for the road to clear up so that we can put this to test. There is nothing much to talk about this car away from this. Like this is the ultimate thing that we are all waiting for, right? So let me not bore you with a lot of words. Let me go down to what this car is meant to. So I'll go into it smoothly, show you how the performance elements have been dialed down on this car. And then from there, we can do a 0 to 100 and just confirm how good and how awesome. So, I was talking to you about the dials. Right now, I'm in comfort. I am in comfort. Trust me. The suspension is in comfort. So, the dials here on the MG multifunction steering are quite awesome. So it means I'm driving harsh, I'm driving hard, and I need just to switch. It's just a simple matter of just turning down the dials, and I'm in. If I need to change the suspension, do all those other things, the other side has, again, those dials, or that knob to just allow me switch that quite quickly. And that's down to the performance. Like the performance, if you're driving this car, I would tell you to waste a lot of time. Of course, I have lane departure, and I have my parking sensors and how to turn them off. Then I have my cruise control here, which are, as I said, adaptive, very efficient, very nice. For traffic, I always use this Distronic Plus system. It saves me a lot of energy. Kukanyaga brake na mafuta all the time. So it's one of the best put together system when it comes to adaptive cruise control. But mimi niwache kuwabo. Speedometer hapa inaonyesha 330. Knowing watu backbencher watu 60, you can't get anything on this car. And because this is a performance car, let me do something crazy. So I'm going to put her in Sport Plus. I'm going to open up my valves. I'm going to bring up the rear spoiler, which is beautiful and awesome. Yeah, it's up. And now, whoo! This is what this car was designed and meant to do. What a beautiful car. It pulls. What? It's planted to the ground. The suspension is now harsh. I can feel that the car now means business. It doesn't want to play games. The exhaust is just awesome. Awesome. Like guys, I can't describe how it feels to drive this car. I can't describe to you how it feels to drive this car. I know the 63 will be, oh. Let me put her in manual mode because I need to. Listen to those mats. Woo! So, up, downshift. It's so beautiful. And this, by the way, I forgot. This one has the performance exhaust. So that again is an option you can get. There's a guy at the back with a wish. He tells me, just go. I want to see the car. Downshift. Oh man! Like, okay, no more games. Let me go back to normal driving mode, and then we can do 0 to 100, right? Let's just do 0 to 100. It's just joy to drive this car. It's one very beautiful car to drive. Let me set her up right here. Here is good. Here is good. Here is good. Here is good. You have more clearance. So I'm going Sport Plus. Everything is in the harshest condition. Suspension is Sport. Kila kitu iko off. Then I'm going to acceleration. I'm going to see. Okay. Are you guys ready? Foot on the brake. Accelerator. Woo! What? Come on. Give me the rundowns. Yes. 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 I'm saving them. I'm saving them. Wow. 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 Okay. Let me not bore myself. 0 to 100. 0 to 100, boys and girls, in 4.8 seconds. 4.8 seconds. Of course, this car is rated better. But as I always say, there are different conditions. Different conditions for different things. 4.8 seconds. I lost some traction pale kidogo. I know I can get better numbers. I know for sure I can get better numbers with this car. I know I can get better numbers. But I'm not going to do it again because I don't believe the owner of this car will allow me to do that again. This is a one of a lifetime opportunity to do this. So let me be respectful. Let me be a good guy. So that's where we are going to keep it. 4.8 seconds. I know I can get better numbers. But let's talk about value for money. Does it make a value money preposition for you to buy this car at 19 million Kenya shillings? Let's do this. So let's talk about value for money. So how much will this car set you back? It is very embarrassing for me to discuss value for money on this car because I consider this a good of ostentation. It means you buy this car for being exclusive. You buy this car because it's a Mercedes-Benz. You buy this car because it defines you as a person and it offers a lot of luxury options and just experience every time you drive with your family and friends to wherever destination you want to go. So this car will set you back 19 million Kenya shillings for a 2020 version, even though the price could go higher depending with the spec you get on this car. Like if you go this car with a panoramic sunroof, if you go this car with bigger wheels, if you got it with a V8 package or a chrome package, those prices will change. And in fact, the mileage and quality as well. But for this one, if you gave us 19 million, I will gladly drive this car and deliver to you with respect, love, and proper appreciation. I've been your host, Papa Skofu Ibrahim Tolo himself. Until the next episode of A Conversation Kanisa. See you. Bye-bye. And remember to subscribe, share, leave me a comment, a like, so that we get to as many people as possible. Road to 200 is still on. Share.